That's great. That's great. Like I said, I don't I don't think everybody has nobody in this this race has that specific experience, and I think that's great because that's what I see. I mean, I moved into the neighborhood. I live close to Milwaukee Avenue. I moved from Portage to Jefferson Park, and one of my reasons was there was a cute little cafe in the corner. And I said, "Oh, I can walk to there. I can walk to the dry cleaners."
Right.
And it went under about 6 months after I moved in. You know, and so
sounds familiar.
Yeah, so I've seen it firsthand. So I'm just tickled that we've got somebody with your background that can do it. Do you want to tell the viewers some of your priorities?
Well, my priorities for the ward are fixing what's broken, and that starts with cleaning up the blight.
Yeah.
You know, we did this at Six Corners. I want to use the Aldermanic menu dollars to clean up blight around the ward, clean up vacant lots, take down dilapidated signage, clean up graffiti on buildings, and just get this thing scrubbed. It's going to take a while to get this done because there's a lot of it. We're going to have to inventory every building in the ward. There's no clear view of how many buildings we have. It's not, that information's not accessible. So the first thing you want to do is you want to inventory all the buildings, and then you want to inventory all the businesses and the vacancies so you understand exactly what you're dealing with. My estimates are pretty strong estimates. I think, and from talking to bankers and realtors, they pretty much agree with what my assessment is. But you want to do that first. So it's cleaning up the blight and then starting to work on infrastructure. Our economy will be turning around later on this year. We've got 3.5% growth last quarter, I think it was.
Okay.
And so that's a little stronger growth than anyone anticipated. Unemployment seems to be coming down slightly. So I'm thinking another year and a half that we have to really position ourselves to take advantage of the economy turning around, but we've got some infrastructure work that needs to be done. Then we need to put an economic development plan together. And that will be the first priority.
Okay.
So I've put together this action plan 2011, which you can see here, which I sort of passed out at the Aldermanic Forum in Jefferson Park a couple weeks ago.
And when I was there, I mean, honestly, I thought a lot of people were just giving pat answers. And that was a highlight for me when you said, well, I'm the only one here that has a plan. You held it up. And if you read it, yeah, I mean, it's 6 or 8 pages of detail that I haven't seen on any other alderman candidate's website. I mean, everybody else is kind of saying the same thing, and that really struck me.
Well, they are kind of saying the same thing, but you know, I'm giving specific details of the plan because I've done this, because I have the experience to do it, and I know what the priorities are. We've got some near-term actions that we want to do. Cleaning up the blight is one of them. An economic development plan is another one, and I don't have to hire consultants to do it. They'd only hire somebody like me.
Exactly.
Right. So I hear other candidates talk about how they're going to hire economic development staff and all this.
I've seen that a lot.
I think that's wasting tax dollars. You might as well get that in your alderman.
Yeah.
Because that's the alderman's job. The buck stops with the alderman.
Right.
You can't just delegate something so important as economic development to staff. That's just not the right way to do it. You need to, after 25 years, you need to hire the right person with the right skills and experience. So another thing we need to do is a rezoning analysis. There's been no major zoning changes in this ward in 25 years.
Wow.
So we need to look at that because it's entirely probable that there are zoning changes that need to be made because current zoning in certain areas may be an impediment to bringing the right types of businesses in. So we need to do that. Cleaning up the blight, of course, and I want to bring back recycling to the ward. People really want it, and there's no reason why we don't have it. Yeah,
that was a hot issue in the forum, it seemed, from the audience perspective. A lot of people want that.
A lot of people seem to want it, and it's the right thing to do. I mean, you know, I made the comment where all the candidates are up on stage, and we must have had, you know, 20 water bottles, you know, sitting there, and I'm going, I wonder what's going to happen to these after we're done.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do need that. We also need to focus on some major projects to really jumpstart this ward and get it turned around. So I've tried to be geographically diverse about how I've done that. There's 4 major projects. The first one is to rebuild a new downtown Jefferson Park. I mean, we've had some problems in Jeff Park over the years because of, you know, the way development's been handled. There's been no consensus between the community and the developers, and we need to, first of all, we need to fix that. And the way you do that is you listen to the community, you listen to what they're saying, and you say, all right, these are the types of ideas that we have. These are the types of things we think we need based on benchmarking other communities. So what is it? Let's establish some parameters that the community can live with first. And then you go to the developer and you say, here's the parameters that the community can live with. This is what, as alderman, I can sell, right? And then you've established those parameters, and then everybody works toward those instead of the conflict of, well, we want a developer wants a project, and they're just going to do what they want to do, and that's where the trouble starts.
Right.
And, you know, you have to lead. The alderman has to lead. It's the alderman's job to make sure that the projects that are slated for the neighborhoods are what the neighborhoods want and what the neighborhoods need. And not, you know, just run in the other direction the minute you get a little opposition. I mean, that's not leadership, and that's what we have to do. So that's the first project. The second project is rebuilding and repopulating the Milwaukee Avenue Gladstone Park corridor.
Okay.
There's vacant storefront after vacant storefront. Gateway Chevrolet. You know, I want to find a baker to reopen the Gladstone Bakery like Gene Schulter did with that little European meat market in Lincoln Square. I can tell you, I used to live in Lincoln Square. It was not what it is today. And I watched Gene Schulter, as my alderman, turn it around. And he's done a fabulous job.
Well, I mean, because I go to Lincoln Square to go to restaurants, you know, and I want the 45th Ward to be a destination where people come in.
Well, we need that.
Yeah. So I like that you're using that as a model or referencing that, because...
Well, I took, when I was head of the Economic Development Committee, I took our steering committee to Lincoln Square. And John Lamont, who's a principal at the Lakota Group, which is the planning firm that Gene Schulter worked with, took us building by building and showed us how he had done that, how they did this together, and what Gene had done, and it was amazing. You know, being a resident there and watching it happen, watching it transform was really something to see. It's a good mixture of small businesses and franchises, and it's got some national franchises, but those are still small business owners, and that's what a lot of people don't think about.
That's true, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, franchisees are small business owners. So the third project, master project, is to rebuild the light manufacturing areas along Elston Avenue. There's a lot of vacancies in light manufacturing, and light manufacturing is important because it pays 40% higher than average jobs. So it provides skilled labor opportunities for residents. You know, you can work with companies like Illinois Tool Works to bring their suppliers in, and you have to aggressively target businesses. So the fourth project, the one that's a little near and dear to my heart, given where I live at Portage Park, is I want to build the city's only year-round indoor public farmers market and town square.
I love that idea.
I want to use the TIF funds that are out there, the surplus TIF funds, to, you know, if we have the opportunity to do it and these businesses agree, because I am not a proponent of eminent domain, but to move some of the businesses down there to other locations that are convenient for them and for their patrons, and then build that public square right near the Portage Theater. Shut that street, Kyler, off at the alley and build a town square with a fountain, with outdoor eating areas, with power, so we can have concerts on the weekends.
That'd be great, like in the summertime.
But we also need parking down there. There's been this back and forth, and you know, a handful of folks in the community have fought tooth and nail any development down there.
Right.
And that's got to be that has been pretty much neutralized thanks to a lot of the work that we've done at Six Corners in the last couple of years. But we also need parking down there.
Exactly.
So we need to build a parking facility that is consistent with the architecture of the rest of the buildings like the Portage Theater.
Right.